Alright, guys. I'm Tharpedo, and this is a Let's Play. My first Let's Play with live commentary via video. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. Today, sorry, I was eating honey Dijon potato chips. Ooh, rough, stings the throat. Alright, but, anyways, today, we're gonna be playing Donkey Kong Country, or in layman's terms, Donkey Kong Country, which originally came out on the Super Nintendo in 1992, 3, I want to say. I was like a baby, I was like 1 or 2, but, we had the system. One second, trying to get this shit loaded, alright? Trying to get this shit loaded, alright? Just bear with me. I'm trying to coordinate all these different recording devices. Okay, I think we got it. I think we got it. Do we have it? Yes. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's load this up. I am using an emulator. No, I'm not recording this authentically with my Super Nintendo. I do have a Super Nintendo. Not the one that we owned as children, my sister and I, but one that I bought a few years ago. Would have been nice to have just had my childhood Super Nintendo all along, but I was an idiot as a kid and just sold off all my retro consoles to get whatever the hot new console is. Had to keep up with my friends. You know how it is. Alright, so as I come in here into the banana horde and find no bananas, which is the setup to basically the simplistic story of this 2D platformer that was actually revolutionary graphically in its day. I should tell you that this is one of my favorite series of all time. I grew up on this, Killer Instinct, what was it? Bugs Bunny game on the Super Nintendo, and Super Mario All-Stars. That was like my game roundup. Pretty much, that was like all we had for the Super Nintendo. But that was enough to like really just skyrocket me into the gaming stratosphere for the rest of my life, essentially. And Donkey Kong, I have to say, was probably my favorite of the 5 or so games that we had. I mean, I played this game till I was blue in the face and carpal tunneled up in my hands and wrists. Yeah, I just loved it. I decided to play through this as my first playthrough because of what it means to me. Get some bananas. I love Donkey Kong Country 2, probably more than this game, but I thought I would start with this one. You know, it's more simple. This is my first serious Let's Play that I'm doing. Just beat the first level there. You know, just thought I'd mention that, just in case you didn't notice. I'm an expert at video games. But no, I grew up with this and played it all the time, and even though I like Donkey Kong Country 2, which came out a couple years later, even though I like that more, this one, I don't know, it felt right to do this one first, not only because it came out first, so not only in a chronological sense, but because it just feels right, I guess. And since this was like one of the first 3 or 4 games that I ever played as a kid on my Super Nintendo, I just figured, why the hell not? And since I'm having to talk and be animated and lively for a Let's Play, I figured let's stick with the simpler, easier Kong game. Because, let's be honest, if you've ever played Donkey Kong Country 2, amazing platformer, but it can be pretty challenging, especially towards the end there. Which is how a good platformer should be, but it's a nail biter, that's for sure. Yeah, this Donkey Kong Country. Let me tell you, man. I don't really, didn't really grow up on the Donkey Kong games, like the original Donkey Kong arcade games. That's not how I discovered Donkey Kong. I discovered Donkey Kong through this rendering, the way he was presented from the Super Nintendo days and onward, which is fine with me because to me that's what Donkey Kong is. You know, I do like the 8-bit Donkey Kong, and I understand what it means in terms of gaming history and whatnot. But this is Donkey Kong to me. This rendering is essentially what he's looked like from 1992 or 3 till now. So, I mean, obviously it's gone through changes, but this is Donkey Kong. Finding it a little difficult to talk already. What is this? I've only gone through like 5 minutes and my voice is hoarse. Okay. Level 3. I just skipped Cranky. I don't need his tips. Do not need his tips. Cranky is a little more useful in the reboot of this series, or I don't know if I'd call it a reboot, I guess a continuation of this series. Donkey Kong Country Returns, which was for the Wii originally and then was ported to the 3DS a couple years later. That, funny story, well, not funny, interesting backstory about Tharpedo and video games. I, for whatever reason, got out of gaming for a good 4 or 5 years between like 2005 and 2010, so about 5 years. I don't know what it was. I just didn't have a job. I was a lazy fuck as a late teen, and I smoked pot and listened to music and tried my best to be a little hippie. And I don't know, like I didn't like the way video games were going. I liked the GameCube, and I liked some of what Nintendo was doing, but it wasn't striking a chord with me the way it did as a kid. You know, back in the N64 and PS1, PS2 days, and then, you know, GameCube. That's about where I ended, for a while at least. Didn't have an Xbox, didn't buy a PlayStation 3 or a 360 when they came out. What, am I supposed to just go back here? I should probably know. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I got out of gaming. I didn't really play anything for 5 years, which seems crazy now, honestly. But what got me back into gaming as a whole and relit that fire, we could say, is the reveal of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii. Thinking about it now, I was so far removed from the industry in general that I'm not even sure I had heard of the Wii. And it had been out for 4 years at that point. I had heard of it, but I guess I had such a lack of interest and apathy for it, video gaming as a whole, that I just did not, it just wasn't on my radar for some reason. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but long story short, I saw Donkey Kong Country Returns, the reveal video, at E3. I, for whatever reason, was watching it. I was like, let me check out what's going on in the video game industry, and it just immediately sent shivers down my spine when I heard the classic theme. It didn't really look like this game. It was a whole new style. It was a 2.5D game in some aspects, and you know, it was a completely different development team that did it, but it still had that feel. I mean, of course, the theme songs added to that, but it just, man, it was just like a shockwave, a fucking shockwave of nostalgia, and just piqued my interest, man. And it was around the same time where I babysat my niece, who not so coincidentally owned a Wii because it was the hottest thing for a few years there, especially getting tongue-tied, amongst children and families. And she had Super Mario Galaxy 2, which that just blew my mind. I mean, think about it. the last Mario game I had played was Super Mario Sunshine, which was a great game, but it was not magical and spellbinding and game-changing like Super Mario Galaxy was to somebody who hadn't played video games for a long time, let alone Nintendo. And Nintendo has masterful IPs and just lush, beautiful games, especially in this era, which I'll get into the Wii U and stuff, I'm sure, in later videos. But yeah, when I saw this game, or Donkey Kong Country Returns rather, and played Super Mario Galaxy firsthand, I knew I had to get a Wii U, and ever since then I've been back into the game. I have a Wii U, a 3DS, Xbox 360, just got a PS Vita, which I won in a contest from Obi-Wan Plays. What's up, Obi-Wan? Probably aren't watching this. In fact, I know you aren't, but just thought I'd give you a shout out nonetheless. I got a Super Nintendo, N64. Shit, I was not paying attention there. What else? I say I have a GameCube because I have an original Wii, but I don't actually have the GameCube console. And I'm about to get a PS4 actually. Black Friday's coming up. I plan on getting a pretty big deal on the Uncharted bundle, which will be on sale for $300. So I'm a full-fledged gamer again. I consider myself kind of casual. I don't play hardcore like RPGs and stuff, and I only devote a specific amount of time to video games a week, and I don't let it cut into my social life or work life enough to where it's just like 80% of who I am and what I do. But it is a pretty big part of who I am, and it just seems strange and alien to me now that it was not a part of my life for so many years. But, alright, you probably bored you to tears. Should probably talk about the game at hand here. But I've just played through this game so much over the years that it's just kind of, you know, second nature to me now. I'm not even thinking about it. And I think that's why I wanted to do this as my first Let's Play. Because I was just so comfortable with it, and I was about to say I know it like the back of my hand, and then I died. So, boy, it would be pretty funny if I didn't even make it to Candy's Saving Shack on my first go-around. But that won't be the case, because I'm competent. And I love this series, and I've played it for 20 years, damn it. Over 20 years. And this should be a cakewalk. I think I'm actually kind of getting, like I said, a little distracted by having to entertain you folks. But I'll get the hang of it. That's why I wanted to do a game that I was uber comfortable with. And I just made the exact, precise same mistake. Oh! Ooh, that's frustrating and embarrassing. I guess I could edit it out, but I'm not gonna do that. I've got too much pride. And I know there's a secret room around here somewhere, but I'm feeling a sense of urgency here. I don't wanna... Don't wanna make any stops. I just wanna... Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get my ass in gear. The barrels... They stress me out. I'm not gonna lie. The barrels in the DKC games stress me out. And once I get on a bit of a losing streak, or I should say a missing streak, I don't have the best of luck. And I continue on a downward trajectory of failure, essentially. But if you give me silence, I can do this. Oh, jeez! Ooh! This is getting weird. I feel like I just lost any credit I have, and like my whole tale of Donkey Kong has just been discredited. Or I've been discredited. But I can do this. I know I can do it. Come on, I mean, really. Okay. Oh, what? Oh! Oh, man. If anybody's watching this, if anybody got this far, I'm sure you're having a pretty big laugh. Ugh, maybe I should have went with Donkey Kong Country 2. I played it more recently. I was planning on at least getting through the first little world here for my Let's Play. But if I have to stop over some damn barrels and a... Oh, I think I'm gonna have to do a little editing. Nope. Nope. Must persevere. See, look at this. Now I'm dying at simple minions that I was not having trouble with before. What? Alright, I landed on that guy. I landed on that guy. See, that's the thing. These old school games, they don't really hold your hand. In the new Donkey Kong Country series, for the Wii and Wii U, I mean, there's all sorts of power-ups and protection objects you can get, and lives and coins and... Oh, okay, I made it. Okay, do not squander this, Cody. Okay, there we go. I got it. Whew! That was close. And now I can save. Alright, onwards and upwards. The easiest boss in the history of gaming is this little gopher. Or chipmunk? Golf monk. Wow. I thought there was one more hit left. Pathetic. Alright. I think I'm gonna do this Let's Play in world sections, so that concludes World 1, Congo Jungle. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for the little mishap or lapse in judgment I had there for a few minutes with those barrels, but they'll get you. Those barrels will get you sometimes. I'll see you for the next one, Monkey Mines. Monkey Mines coming up next. You can't miss it.